Hello, welcome to Creative View Podcast with Catherine Kirby, your host. It is a blustery day and my heart goes out to the 70 million people in the South that are being subjected to tornadoes, and I guess there'll be more in the news. So spend 15 minutes with me. I would like to ask you all a question. And I've been doing some medical talks and I noticed subscribers are dropping. So it's either that or my faith, and that I can't change because that's me. But if you would prefer that the medical talks not be in with my Creative View podcast, let me know because I could start another channel. So welcome today. I hope you had a great Sunday, even though you couldn't get together with family and all and celebrate Easter. This definitely reminds me of spring. And I've been talking about the Beachcomber Shawl by Chelsea Berkompas. And these were basically the colors that she used. This color shows up as a red and it's not, it's coral color. But I had this idea, and I shared it with some of you, to use a skein of Cascade Casablanca and just let the colors fall where they may. Not cut them apart, but just... So when I noticed that the solid color was starting to change, then I would bring in the blue color. And yesterday we talked about warm colors and cool colors, and they don't always look so good together, so I would not have used these two together, but that's the way it fell. That's the lacy section that separates section 1 from 2 and 2 from 3, and that was fun, and I liked the way the color fell on that. So I'm glad that I went with my idea. I told you I was reading Anna Perry's murder mysteries from the 1850s, and one of the elite ladies who was testifying said she had a look of suppressed passion. And I'm wondering, how many of us have suppressed passion? If you get it, and does it show on our face? Do we draw attention because we have suppressed passion? If you get an idea, don't fight it, go with it. My little tip here, excuse me, I dropped something. This is a asymmetrical shawl. So on one side, you're going to knit in the front and the back. And on the other side, you're going to knit two together. And what I like to do is do the knit two togethers and the knit in the front and the back in the stitch before the last stitch. So you get this nice little edge. And on the other side also you get a nice little edge, almost like a line with little holes. I cast on a just a little swatch to show you what happens when you do it at the very last stitch. And I realize this is dark and it may not show that well, but instead of that nice line, you get kind of little nubs. This would be your knit two together, and that would be your knit in the front and the back. So to me, not as nice. So you would knit up to the very last till you have 2 stitches left, and then knit in the front and the back of the next to last stitch. And then on the end where you knit 2 together, you would knit until you have 3 stitches, and then knit 2 together, and then knit 1. So more later. I like to give you a tip on a little short film. I've kind of gotten hooked on them. And many years ago, I remember this elderly man telling this little boy at church, "Chad, don't ever get in the way of a woman when she's on her way to the beauty shop." And I thought that was comical. And then fast forward many years, and I remember a nursing student, and she got a call that her father had been in an accident. Now, he was going to be okay. But she said to me, and the worst thing is, my mom had this hair appointment plan that she had waited weeks to get. So kind of funny. There is a cute little video, and I say that because with this quarantine, I guess getting your hair cut is not an essential. My husband's getting all scruffy looking, especially ladies can't get out and get their hair done. It's called Hair Love. Just go to Hair Love, Oscar-winning short film, and you're going to see this endearing little short film about a daddy who's trying to fix his little girl's hair. Takes me back to the days when my daughter used to have ballet class. She was age 3 and then 4, and if I wasn't there, my husband had a terrible time. How do you get a little girl's hair up in a bun? Where do you put the bobby pins? And then the little girl saying, ouch, daddy, that hurts, ouch. So I'm glad you decided to spend 15 minutes of your day with me. This is how I decided to do my podcast on my Facebook page, and you are welcome to join in. We like to do a vintage pattern guess the year. Yes, folks, people really did make these and wear these. You could have been the lucky recipient. And I have to be careful to zip my mouth because some things that I think are silly, other people love. So people were answering things like the late 1960s, maybe 1980, but drum roll please, the answer is 2004. I also found a vintage pattern among my things. My husband likes to watch Westerns, and the ladies always had their shawls on. That's like a capelet, and of course you can put it up and protect yourself from a windy day. But this is actually 1977. And remember, can you remember when magazines came and they were black and white and you just had to imagine? This took 7 skeins of Bear brand Zephyr Shetland and 1 medium-sized bone crochet hook. It just says medium size. It doesn't say anything other than that. Pentagon and hexagon shaped shawls are made exactly like the square shawls that are worked from the center out, except that the 2D round is divided into 5 or 6 parts. Circular shawls are begun at the center. So I guess we've come a long way, baby. And then look at the opposite page showing you how women dress through the times. The novel I'm reading is set in 1850, so before this, but it does mention the women with the big flounces of their skirts and so forth. So I wanted to show you a little tip. I don't know about the rest of you, but it's confusing to me when I see a pattern and it says use a like an 8 needle 40 centimeter, and I forget what 40 centimeter cable is. We're using 80 centimeter or 120 centimeter. So I came up with an easy way to figure this out. On this side would be the cable length, the centimeter. So first of all, you're going to half these, and then you're going to subtract the 2. So that would be an 8-inch. The 40 centimeter, you're going to cut it in half, 20, and you're going to subtract 4. That would be a 16-inch needle. The 60 centimeter, half it, 30 minus 6, you're going to get a 24-inch needle. Now, please don't say, oh, that's math, I'm not good at math. Really, it's just a very simple thing to memorize. So what would an 80 centimeter cable be? Cut it in half, 40, and subtract the 8, is going to be a 32-inch cable. I hope this helps you. It certainly helped me because I was befuddled. So the question is, are you suppressing your passion? I hope not. So the last thing I wanted to mention is I was pleasantly surprised when I picked up the ARP magazine. Yes, my husband is quite a bit my senior. I wouldn't need ARP magazine. And they had an article in about sheep. Actually, it was a series of one-page articles on how animals influence our life. And here's a rancher, and she says that while sheep can have multiple births, they can really only take care of 2 lambs at most. So she has bottle fed many lambs through the years, even 4 times a day. Doing this work is like the Gospel of John. I know my sheep and they know me. If we could all be like animals, life would be different. And yeah, I have about 10 black sheep in my herd. They don't care about color. And if people would just learn that, it would be a better world. So that was a nice surprise. I do have a question to ask you. I have been doing some medical podcasts under the name Creative You, and I noticed that subscribers are dropping. And while I am not running a popularity contest, it's either that or my faith. If it's my faith, I can't change that. I am who I am. But if people are turned off because I am doing medical talks, let me know because I could open up another channel. So I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you tomorrow. And let your passion for color and design come out and shine, baby, shine.